Now we're live. Yay. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. Why? I hold crypto. I hold pTGC and UFO specifically. That's why I'm bullish and excited. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Invite some people. Invite some people to the stream. All right. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. In a couple of chats. You guys know that we have, hi AKP. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I'll talk about the conference. Distracted. YouTube, man, the internet is like so distracting. Let me get on task here. So we have, I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a Chinese group, we got a Polish group, and there's like hundreds of members in them. Well, at least in the Polish group has like 600. Chinese, I'm not sure. Maybe I can let you know in a minute. But I'm going to drop this in those chats. Drop the link here in those chats. I just joined the Polish group this morning. So let me get that in there. And I've been in the Chinese group. Been in the Chinese group for a bit, but I'm going to start being active in there. How am I going to be active? Just forwarding news. Just forwarding good news, mainly information. There are 26 in the Chinese group. So I'm inviting them to the stream. Hey, man. There's a lot of Chinese that speak English. You know, a lot of English speakers don't speak any second languages, myself included. But there are a lot of non-English speakers that speak English. So, and let's get this into our chat, the main chat. I think it's already on X, so we're good there. So that should have it about covered. Anywhere else that I need to go? Looking at the chats. Yeah, I think we're good. Hey, Gary Bennett. Hello, Shaka. Afternoon, David. If it's afternoon for you, it's morning for me. Just got to my office a little behind on my stuff today, but that's completely my fault. Yeah, hit the like and sub, guys. I'm trying to build my channel. Why? To influence for the grays. To help crypto, to help the broader crypto get onto PulseChain and into the index token of the PulseChain. pTGC and UFO are figurative. Can I say that they're like literally? They're not like the textbook they're not the SEC definition of an index fund, but they're an index. They are an index of the best tickers on the Pulse network. So come over to PulseChain, start with these tokens, and explore from there. Why do you want to start with these? Because they are bonded with the best tickers on the chain. So you start here and then go elsewhere if you want to, or you could just lean into these, right? That's what I've done quite a bit. Good morning, Doe Steezy. Guys, I'm going to try to pick up the pace and give you guys value. It's some streamers that know how to change the language of their streams. Tell me more about that. If I'm missing something, if I could do to know how to change the language of their streams. I met with Matty Allen, by the way. Did you guys see the picture of me and him on Twitter? He and that custom-made soup that he had made. Had dinner with him and Frank and two other guys. I love Matty. He's a good guy. I like him. I like his demeanor. Very quiet. He's actually very quiet. So please, PulseChain, Wheezy, let me know. Tell me. Good morning, team. Snowflake. Got to meet you at the conference. Oh, man, guys, if you can go to the PulseChain conference or any kind of conference where our group is or a meeting, if you can meet the guys and gals, do it. It's just it'll boost your crypto experience. The next pump is going to be epic for pTGC. I do believe so. Like the next legit pump, right? I mean, this pump this morning, I'm excited about it because it could be a legit pump, but I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to pull back again. Dude, guys, I've been in this thing since, for like 4 years, literally 4 years, fully engaged in crypto. And I've seen it pull back so many times that I'm just like, okay, 90% chance it's going to keep pulling back. But I have been impressed with the Grays currencies. I'm going to tell you what, that's not bearish. I'm 1000% bullish on crypto and the Grays. Support for you from the UK. Yeah, man. Thank you. Romeo Fantastical. Hello, Romeo. Good to have you in here. So let's talk about just a second. Gotta do those human noises, and gotta hear it, guys. Right? So 52 people in here. Whoa! Wow. Okay, number one, I got to meet a bunch of you guys at the conference. And people were coming up to me and just saying, "Hey, Prairie, thank you for your content. I want you," and I was really, it left an impression on me. Okay. So know that. And I wish I could have spent more time with each of you. But those conferences are a blur. They are a fabulous opportunity to meet people of like mind, but they're also just very busy. Like, I want to go out to have coffee and dinner with that person. That person has that. But it's not possible. So you just do what you can. Go next year if you can. Please, I'm highly encouraging you to go. For yourself, it will help your network. You will pick up nuggets, and you'll have a good time. You can get away from the office or whatever it is that you're doing that you need to get away from. Okay. The conference. I'm trying to stay on task for you guys. I have some notes, and I think in sound bites. So this is just me, okay? And I'm not being. Remember, I'm bullish. Okay, I got to add to this one. My first note here is Access Alive thinks we're looking at a 27. I'm just repeating what other people. I'm not a TA guy, so I'm going to repeat and kind of take note of what other people say. And two other people, Maddie and Vibra Finance, have both basically stated the same thing. But Access Alive thinks we're looking at a 27 to 28 cycle top. That's 2027, 2028 cycle top. And he no longer believes in the 4-year cycle. And he has thought that for quite a while. And Maddie Allen thinks the same. And Vibra, if he doesn't think the same, he at least hinted at it in a post yesterday. You can go see him on Twitter. Guys, when you are on a stream like this, that is not, well, if you're on a stream like this, and you know that there might be eyeballs from other chains in there, just welcome them to PulseChain. We're trying to reach outside of PulseChain to bring people in. And you can say that by, if you're new to PulseChain, welcome. I've got this keyed into my, watch this, bam, right there. I've got a hotkey in my keyboard. I don't know if you can do this with all keyboards, but I built it in, and I'm going to be I have been doing this on channels. Hit the like and sub. It's a simple, easy, cheap, free tip. And if you're new to PulseChain, welcome. The narrative, the way they've been stated is, if you're new to PulseChain, we love you, or something like that. Or welcome to PulseChain, we love you. Well, I don't love everybody. I want them to come to PulseChain, but I'll be honest, I don't love everybody. So I ain't gonna lie. Just if you're new, welcome. Come on in. Water's warm. Solana had a meme run. Pulse will also have a meme run. Yeah, could be Teddy Bear. Probably going to be Teddy Bear. We have a thick bond with Teddy Bear. Woot woot. That's good news. We also have an LP with Wanted, most wanted. Okay, we had a panel at the conference, and there were 4 people on there. Dollar Cost. Oh, Charlie. Not Diversify. I can never remember his channel name. Somebody put it in there. Charlie with something. It's not Diversify Crypto. I'm embarrassed. I need to put it on a sticky note. That's how bad this is. And it was Ian. And then there were 4 people. And then the last one was B Rids. So just so you guys know, you can be thankful that the Grays were heavily represented in that panel. There was more response from the audience then, well, there was one other panel that had a lot of energy, but overall, the grays, let me get back to this before, okay, the panel. Moderator asked the panel, what do you think is going to be the top tokens, non-RH tokens this cycle? That's not an RH top 100 on Pulse. There's not an RH creation. B Roots goes first. Teddy Bear, pTGC, PDI. Well, the room erupted a little bit when he said pTGC, and then Ian goes, pTGC. I want to re-look at it. I won't, but he says pTGC. And then diversify, cultivate. Thank you, Dose Streezy. I'm write that down, man. I'm so cultivate crypto. I am gonna get it. He says, I think he mentioned pTGC. I'm not positive, but I think he did. But he would have. Okay. I think when we interviewed him, he made a couple very positive responses. And that's very common in people that we interview. They have aha moments. Wow. Like the last guy was like, wow. I think he said it 3 times. Cultivate crypto. I think he said pTGC. And the last one was dollar cost. And he mentioned UFO a couple of times. I'm pretty sure he mentioned pTGC, but I'm not positive. So that was great. Good exposure. Here's another nugget I got. The most previous Bitcoin run up, and who was it? RG3 said this, and it helped me. He says that wasn't the crypto bros, you guys and nice guys. That wasn't the crypto bros. No, I'm sorry. That was the crypto bros. That was the crypto bros. But what's exciting is it wasn't retail. Okay, that was the last Bitcoin. Covering my tracks. I do that often, don't I? The last little Bitcoin run up that we had recently up to 106,000 was the crypto bros. It was not retail. Retail ain't here yet. Yeah. It ain't here yet. That's my opinion. And I think, let me know if you disagree with that, let me know in the chat because I'm curious. But I would have to agree. I don't think there is a buzz going on in our culture over crypto yet. And then there was a panel of 4 ladies, and it was so good. It really got me thinking, listen, guys, if you're in a place of influence and you have access to women streamers and content creators like on X or whatever, this is my opinion. It's almost like they're waiting for us because we're men, we're leaders. They're depending on us to reach out to them to invite them, right? So I've been inviting ladies on stream. I invited a lady that was at the conference. I didn't meet her, but she followed me on X. I followed her, and I says, hey, I think she's into pTGC. I'm pretty sure. I said, I'd love to have you on the channel. I can walk you through, answer any questions. And she's like, I'd love to do that. So yay, man. And what does that do? Well, it gets, we get to have a lady on the channel. I mean, you got to admit, stinky guys, there's a guy in every corner in crypto, but there ain't too many ladies. So I'm going to be like reposting more of women's posts, leaning into them. They have something to contribute to crypto. And oftentimes they need to be like, they need to hear that they're welcome. That's my opinion. I think that's just part of their nature. So let me check the chat here. Thank you. Good to see the Brits in the stream too. Yeah. I see everybody, man. Everybody in the stream. Coon Dog. Dude, you got some funny names. Thank you, man. It's a beacon of light for a lot of, and it's a little bit dark right now, right? We got some green today. We're going to look at that. Cycle could extend, but another 2 years. Yeah. There. See? Data point from Snowflake. Yeah, man. Hit the like, peeps. Do your thing. Cultivate crypto. Thank you for that. Yeah, follow him on X and YouTube. Yeah, DCC. Crypto Coffee and B-Roots. Yeah, coffee is great. I sat next to him on a panel. He helped me out a little bit. I'm not a panel person, but I need to be. I need to go to those. What do they call them? Those organizations, not speakeasy, but where you can learn how to talk in public. That would be really helpful for the Prairie Banana. Let's look at the charts. So that, okay, overall, I want to give you overall my perspective on the conference, other than go if you can, is that the Grays, I'm telling you guys, there was another group there that was represented, another large group. Can I say this? I'm not going to make a comparison. Public speaking classes, yes, thank you. What's it called? Something. It'll hit me later. Thank you, Shaka, for the $20 super chat. Wow. Man, lunch on me. Yeah, man. I wouldn't be able to buy lunch in Vegas. Well, thankfully, I'm not there right now. Dude, I really appreciate that. I'm humbled. So the Grays, there was another group there that was represented. They didn't talk about their token. Maybe once or twice. And it's hard for me to say, okay, I'm being unbiased, but I try to be. Guys, I think there are probably equal numbers of this other group and the Grays. But who was more vocal? The Grays. Who got more attention for the platform? The Grays. Guys, I'm telling you, we are making an impact on the Pulse network, and not just on the Pulse network, but in crypto. And we're working on the broader crypto, bringing them into PulseChain. Got an interview next week. Myself and Zen are going to be interviewed by a gentleman. I'll be announcing it later, but he's not. I think he's on PulseChain, but he's not. I don't get the impression he's like a PulseChain maniac like many of us are. And I don't think he's in the Grays yet. But my purpose is to bring in people from outside the chain. And by the way, one of the guys that we streamed with that was definitely, he wasn't even on chain until the day we streamed with him. He got onto PulseChain. He lives in Las Vegas. Snowflake. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it, man. You guys. He lives in Vegas, and I'm like, hey, man, we're having a conference. So he comes both days. He wasn't there all day, but he came and he was excited. And he says, I'm going to be creating content about PulseChain and the Grays currencies. I'm pretty sure he said the Grays currencies. So I'm making myself friendly toward him and encouraging him and keeping him looped in, because I think that he can move the needle, anything's possible. This is crypto. Let's have a look at the chart. You guys, appreciate it. Why is there something in my star? Let me check this out. Oh, the super vibes, super whatever they are. I like that. Super vibes. You guys you give good vibes. Super chats. They go straight into my stars. Let's have a look at the chat. I mean, the chart. I'm totally unprepared today. You guys hear that often. It's normal. I came straight to my office. I didn't do any prep work. So here is pTGC on the daily. Let's look at it on the weekly, okay? And if you guys have trouble with the chart, like if it's bearish, zoom out, okay? And I want you guys to look at all the volatility back here. Look at this right here, man. I mean, it was down, let's see, from the all-time high down to the bottom, it was down 84%. From like March to July. That was a long run. I remember. Guess what I was doing? I was dollar cost averaging in. I wish I had put more in, by the way. That's 84%. Let's see where we're at now. I bet this one's deeper. Let's see. Boom. Nope. 70%. Yes, guys. When in doubt, zoom out. Okay. This is a beautiful chart. Now let's look at it in terms of WPLS. Probably a similar thing here. Well, I got to put it on the weekly. And we need to include UFO. Do not underestimate the power of the UFO. here. Okay. We always go to the grays. We're down 48%. Whoop, whoop. I'm not phased. Doesn't bother me. But look, Pulse is up 4% for the day. That's beautiful. DAI is up 21%. DAI always seems to move a little bit more aggressively versus Pulse. pTGC is up 7%. UFO is up 4%. Butamus, well, Bitcoin is up about 1%. So there it is, guys. We're crushing it. Where are we on the? So I want to look at the ratio of UFO versus Pulse. We've got some recovering to do. We're down versus Pulse from the all-time high. We're down 48%. I made a tweet yesterday, and if I can find it, let me remove the screen and look for my tweet. I posted something because I was like, okay, what have pTGC and UFO, how far are they down from the all-time high in price in USD, and then also in ratio? Well, guess what? Hold on, guys. I want to find this here. I want to just share my Twitter with you guys. Hold on, guys. All right, I got to meet Crypto Stylist, so I'm now famous. Yes, she's a deer. She's a doll. She's styling, man. She dresses. She's legit. And then I got to meet this gal, Whitney. Whitney, Queen of Millions is her group. Her name is Whitney Magic. She's a good gal, man. And she really is a good listener. Talk to her, and she's like looking at me in the eye, asking me questions. And I like her. Okay, so now here's the tweet that I wanted to highlight to you guys. pTGC achieved 10-1 with PulseChain on the 14th of January, which exceeded. Yeah, please ask a question, Koondog. Go ahead. Which, if you guys remember, you're on Spaces. I did some quick math, and I was like, I think it will be 10-1 by May. I'm pretty sure it was. Well, we did it by the 14th of January, like well ahead of my way ahead of my expectations. It has since retraced 54% in ratio, but 64% in price from the all-time high. So what does that mean? We're still, even though the ratio is less, we're still stronger than we were at all-time high versus PulseChain. So that just means when PulseChain moves, we're going to move even more. And the same with UFO. It was 1-to-1 with PulseChain on the same date, which is weird. 14th of January, and has also retraced 47% in ratio, but 57% in price from the all-time high. So what that means is when Pulse recovers, the Grays currencies are going to recover even more. In my opinion, this is a tremendous buying opportunity, this zone that we're in right now. And I wonder if I dare say something. Yes, let's switch over to a question. How does the buy and burn work when it's at a high rate? I can't burn forever, or it can't burn forever, or can it? How does the buy and burn work when it's at a high rate? Okay. I think what you're talking about is how does the buy and burn work? I'm just going to explain to you how the buy and burn works. The cheaper that pTGC or UFO are, the more the contract can buy of each token. You know, there's 5% fee for pTGC, 6% for UFO. And when that contract executes, whether it's a buy, a sell, or a transfer of either a user or a bot, that contract is buying tokens and burning them. It's taking 5% and divvying it up and buying tokens. Okay. So when the price is down, that means it can buy more tokens to burn them. It can buy more tokens. It can afford more tokens because the tokens are cheaper. When price goes up, it's not going to buy as many tokens. It's still going to buy the same dollar amount, but it's not going to buy as many tokens. Is that making sense? And that applies to pTGC and UFO. There is only so much supply available on the market at any one given time to burn. Am I missing something? There is no, you're not missing anything. The amount of tokens, unless I'm missing something, the amount of tokens available for the contract to buy is the same. The contract's buying from the same pool that we're buying from, or has access to it, right? So there is only so much available on the market, and you can see that at PulseTGC.com. Go to the stats tab. Let's go. Giddy up. Yeah, giddy up. Okay, stats. And you can see the red piece of pie right here is the amount of available tokens. And this actually represents about 3 or 4 different pools, not all of the pools. If you guys want to see all of the pools, go to secretobank.com. The link should be in the description, and click on volume. And let's look at UFO. We're going to check the volume, but when you check the volume, you're also going to be able to see the LP pools. Okay, 129 people in here. Wow, I'm so impressed. And I think I know why that is. Actually, I don't, because usually when candles are red, people don't show up. So good job, guys. Please hit the like, subscribe to my channel. David, you can reach out to me to get a gray sticker. I was passing those things out like candy at the event. Got one right here on my desk. It has Ian's name on the back of it because I was going to give one to him, but I didn't get a chance. See, I had one for, I got out as many as I could. And it was fun. You can get a gray sticker. So I can send you one, or you can buy them off. I'll show you on the DApp where you can get one. Okay. I'll leave that comment there. So secretobank.com, click on liquidity if you want to see the liquidity in order of the largest down to the smallest. Okay. pTGC and UFO is the biggest pool. And on UFO, it's $3 million. The UFO die pool is the second biggest at $2.4 million. I use round numbers, guys. I think you know that. So let's go look at pTGC. We're kind of getting into the weeds here. If you guys are new, I'm going to review the DApp. So just give me a little bit of time. We're going through some low-hanging fruit here and questions. Here is secretobank.com/. Volume on pTGC. The UFO pTGC pool is going to be identical, $3.135 million. And then our second biggest pool is $1.7 million with PLS. And then PulseX has $800,000. And of course, there's the volume too. It's really cool. I love Secreto Bank. Snowflake. This is Snowflake's baby right here. So you guys should be giving Snowflake a super chat. Yeah, and okay, give me a second, guys. The stickers, you can go to Gray's Gear right here, PulseTGC.com, Gray's Gear, and you can buy a roll. I bought a big old roll right here. And guess what? I wasn't able to pass them all out. There were so many on that roll. Yeah, I think there's like 150. 50. No way. There is no way well, I bought one. Oh, there it is. I might have done I probably did the 250 actually. Yeah, that's probably what I did. That's why I have so many left over. Yeah, that's about how many stickers I passed out. I've got a bunch in my pocket that I needed to bring to my office today. So I've got like a dozen here. So out of 250, and of course I used them personal things: cell phone, coffee mug, water mug, laptop, and several other places. Prairie Banana went a little bit bananas on stickers. My wife even had me remove one. She's like, "Can you take that off of there?" Yes, dear. Absolutely. Hey, and there are new stickers. I like these. Okay. Enough about stickers, but but if you want to reach out, I'll drop it in the mail to you guys. If you reach out to me, just PM me on Telegram or Twitter. Cool. I'm glad that worked. Bullish. I'm bullish too, guys. Post LV surge is the reason. Yeah, Las Vegas. The post Las Vegas surge. Yes, absolutely. NFA, but yeah. Just DCA more pTGC today. Yeah, you can literally buy, let's look at it. You can buy like more than 2 million for $1,000. How many UFO can you get? Well, for $1,000, you can get 29 million UFO, guys. 29 million for $1,000. For pTGC, you can get, and that is a certain amount of the supply. You can get 2.3 million for $1,000. There was a time just a few weeks ago when pTGC was really close to $1,000 for $1 million at its all-time high. It was really close. No, it actually did become. It was $1,000 for $1 million. Well, now you can get 2.3 million for $1,000. So what's that tell you? It's on sale. Does anybody not believe it's going back to its previous all-time high? I absolutely 100% believe that pTGC and UFO are going back to their previous all-time high. This is a bump in the road to success. What else you guys want to cover? I will tell you that I have to be careful what I say, because not everything is for the public. But I had a conversation with, you guys saw the picture on Twitter. I did meet Coach too. And I met Crypto Kong. And he and we walked the strip. We met up and we're there an extra day early. And so we got to spend time together, just walking around, goofing off, and had dinner. And then the next day in the afternoon, we met in a little lunch area with our laptops and we got to work. And it was productive. And so I'm going to be doing, like, when I'm reviewing stuff on the DApp, I'm actually going to be using look into ptgc.com. I'm going to use that DApp. I'm going to break it off and start using that one as my demo, because I think you guys can use either DApp. I'm not telling you what to do, but I think that there is so much value on that site. You're going to have both sites bookmarked, PulseTGC.com and look at ptgc.com. You need both of them, but I think there's a lot of value on the look into ptgc.com, including the DApp. So let's go ahead and look at that. Guys, if you have questions about anything about the Grace currencies, drop them in the chat. And I will do my best to answer them, okay? I want to keep this to about an hour and a half. I don't have a super agenda. Wednesday is kind of a fly by the seat of the pants day. That's kind of how I do it. I'll do a formal presentation on Sunday. Okay. And again, I have not prepped at all. I'm just depending on myself to get myself through this. Streaming is a trip. All right, I'm logging in here, guys. Let's review. Let's just review it. And we can do some moon math too, and then end up on the DApp. And I can show you new people, if you're in here, and I assume you are, how to use the DApp. Okay. Yeah. Not like you guys can answer. You can in the chat though. All right. It's lookintoptgc.com. That's where you want to go. Let me make sure my mic is correctly positioned. Something's off. Something is, 143 people. That is not, okay. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. I was really thrown off by the number of people, but that's because it posted on Twitter and I want to know the real number. And I didn't have that ready beforehand. I will get it ready now. And that will kind of help my head to understand what the real, I want the truth, right? Just give me information. Just give me the truth. Okay, I'm pulling up my video. And as long as I'm muted, I'm good. 33 people in here. That's more like it. That's more like it. Okay. Now I understand. Nothing has changed. It's the diehards. You guys are the diehards. Let's enter this from Snowflake. What's a good pTGC to UFO ratio for holding? I'm about 80-20, but more bullish on UFO short term. Bullish on UFO short term. I'm with you on that one. What's a good ratio? If you don't know, or you love both of them, 50-50. I'm going to read you guys. Give me a second. I'm going to read you guys something. I'm going to read you guys something I was sent this morning. Give me a second. And don't worry if you're in the chat, I'm not going to use your name. I am not going to use your name. Give me a second. I got to meet Ariel at the event also. She's a dear. Okay. Hold on a second. Now, this is someone else's opinion. And I'm not necessarily echoing this gentleman's opinion, but I'll read it for you. I'm not even going to tell you who he is or what level he is in our group, right? This is just out of the, somebody PM'd this to me. Hold on. UFO is by far the better deal right now. That's his opinion. People just don't understand it. They think it's just a farming token. He's right on that. It's not just a farming token, but holding is awesome. I agree. People will say, well, with pTGC, you get holding and staking. This is for you, Snowflake. This was good stuff, I thought. They say, with pTGC, you get holding and staking and perhaps locking. However, if UFO doubles the volume each day over pTGC, and with its LP, that seems more than reasonable. Fair point. The 1% returns will be just as good, or if not better, than holding and staking pTGC. Not to mention, you get to buy a lot more of the pool for the same money, which has been my thought for quite a while. And what do I mean by that? Like, you can get more of the supply of the token in UFO versus UFO versus pTGC for the dollar. And with pTGC, most people staked. In UFO, and with pTGC, most people staked. In UFO, a lot of the whales, UFO is tied up in LP pools. So in UFO, a lot of the early whales tied up their UFO in LP. What does that do? It removes them from receiving the 1% rewards that goes to reflections. Hold on a second. So the ones that are holding UFO are getting more reflections. So the APY is higher for holding UFO than LPing it. It's just how it is. So you do not have to share holding rewards with them. Yeah, man, that's how it's working out. So I hope that helps, Mr. Snowflake Society. All right. Hey, Banana, now you've been kicking it with Kong and Coach. How do you feel about X Protocol? I have not. I'm focused. Yeah. But I appreciate you reaching out about it. I am not opposed to that. I would have liked to got that 100X. I got to admit. Natty Crypto bought another bag of pTGC today. These prices are ridiculous. And they're delicious. All right, Coon Dog. Last question. I promise. Dude, you can ask as many questions as you want. That's what this is for. This is for you guys. And I have to believe in the saying, there's no such thing as a stupid question, because I got a lot of them. So I'm going to support that line of thought. Because of the large and vast liquidity pools with different tokens, if we are taking profits and we don't want to affect the chart, is it better to take profits in multiple coins at the same time rather than profits to the same coin over a short period of time? If this is too deep a question, I might raise this live another time over chat. That is, I'm going to recommend that you raise that that is a good question. Raise that up with Zen on Spaces call or in the VC. But I do want to let you know that, let's see, I'm going to pull this off. There is every reward that you earn for pTGC and UFO is backed by liquidity in the pool. So my understanding is I don't need to be concerned about wrecking the chart if I'm taking just my rewards. Now, if I'm selling my principal, that might be a different matter. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, I hope so. Coon Dog, glad to have you in the chat. All right, let's look into ptgc.com. New guys, ask your questions. We'll get to the DApp. I'm kind of going to work my way across these tabs right here for you guys. All right, market metrics, PTDC, and this is on the dashboard of looking at PTDC. Yeah, looking at ptgc.com. I can only say that so fast. But here's the price, volume, and this is a volume and volatility based protocol. So the higher the volume, the more the rewards we're going to get. And here's the liquidity, $8 million. We were up to, I think, $35 or $40 million in combined LP just a few weeks ago. Here are the transactions and the ratio against Pulse. Circulating supply, I think about 12% has been burned. So there you have it. We are 22x away from a penny. Yay. I think we're going to reach a penny and beyond. I do. The fees collected from volume, and that's 5% fee, right? So all the fees collected in the last 24 hours was $12,000, and here is how it was distributed. $1,200 bought and burned PTDC, nuking those tokens out of existence. $1,200 was added to LP. It paired PLS with PTDC and sent those PLP tokens to the burn address, thereby, all of this is raising the price floor, and there is no ceiling on this token. $4,700 was sent to the DAO. What's the DAO going to do with that? It can do anything it wants. However, the top 100 stakers, and by the way, all stakers can vote, but the top 100 stakers are heavily incentivized to make sure that this project succeeds, and they're going to do wise things with that treasury money going to the DAO. And they're going to do things like buy and burn tokens, or they're going to add LP. They can pair with new token. I should say because we are the DAO, right? If you hold PTDC, well, if you're staked, if you just have stake PTDC, you're in the DAO. And we can do anything we want with that money. That gets voted on. It has to pass. So it's going to buy and burn or add LP. Here's the money that went to reflections. Went to holders for reflections, $2,400. $2,400 went to stakers. So if you're staking to PTDC, you're going to double up. It's actually a little more than double up. Let's look at UFO, guys. There's the burn. Oh, I can see the total burn right here. Yeah, nearly 12% of the total supply. And for UFO, 8% of the total supply. Here's the price, volume. It's almost identical volume to PTDC. The liquidity, transactions, the ratio. We lost our peg, if I may say that. We lost our peg of our 1-to-1 Pulse to UFO. Nuts. We'll get it back. Look how close we are. Here's the circ supply, 922 billion, 286x away from a penny. I think we'll get there this cycle. I think it will. Fees collected in the last 24 hours, $16,000, guys. $16,000. So the more of a piece of the pie that you have, the more of that $16,000 you're going to get. How much was PTDC? It was $12,000. Well, hold up. Volume was 238,000, $12,000 of distributions. For UFO, 262,000, very similar, and $16,000. Well, part of that is, the UFO fee is 1% more. It's a 6%. $8,000 went to LP providers. $3,000 bought and burned UFO. $3,000 went to UFO holders, and $3,000 bought and burned PTDC. So that's where that comment was that I just read about UFO perhaps being a little edge against PTDC. Well, maybe temporarily. And like somebody in the chat was saying, a little more bullish. I think it was Snowflake says more bullish on UFO short term. Well, probably part of your thinking there is, Snowflake, is that because UFO is burning the fire out of pTGC, right? That's where my head is on that. And you guys can read the guide. And by the way, guys, if you want access to everything's on this, that's on this site, you can reach out to me directly or sign up on the site. Kong and I are working together on this thing. So let me know. Okay. Now let's go to moon math. Let's do some moon math. I haven't done this in a while. So, I mean, literally, I haven't done it in over a week. It's not that long. I guess it is a long time in crypto, though. So hold on, sip of water. Let's look at, I'm trying to get UFO in more of the limelight. So why? Guys, pTGC came out before UFO, probably 5 months before. UFO came out after pTGC, okay? Like 6 months, 7 months. They're brothers. I don't think UFO is a little brother. I think we're going to be surprised at UFO's performance. If you listen closely and read between the lines of some of the information that's in the community, do not underestimate the power of the UFO token. So they're brothers, in my opinion. They were just born. It's crypto. So they don't need to be born in the same day like we are. Okay? UFO ain't the little brother. I don't know. The pTGC's the little brother. I think they are brothers. And brothers are going to be about this. Well, brothers can have strengths, different strengths, right? So, yeah. Let's have a look at UFO, because I'm trying to highlight UFO because, guys, we talk about pTGC probably because it's more part of our language and our habits and our thoughts, but don't diss UFO just because you can talk about pTGC. Force yourself to talk about UFO. And like somebody said, it's not just a farming token. It's so much more than that. Oh, let me read another note. I save stuff to my saved messages in Telegram. Here we go. Somebody asked, what's the difference between pTGC and UFO? And this was, I think, Monday. And I'll tell you, this is Zen. He says they have a lot of similarities, but also have a few different features. Here are the differences in a nutshell. pTGC is majority burned and protocol owned LP with a huge emphasis on single-sided staking. UFO is all community provided LP with a farm built around token. Emphasis on LP providing, but you can also just hold and earn. There you go. There's that hold and earn narrative. And it's a good one. Our holding rewards are really good. They're like 100. I got to redo the APY, guys. It's on my notes. Where is it? Fix the APY numbers. Probably do that today or tomorrow. Having a big meeting on Friday morning to strategize reaching out to people. I'm excited about that, and I got some prep work to do that way. Let's get into the moon math. Did I say? Yeah, there we go. Add. Okay. Let's do UFO. X factor. Well, what should we do for an X factor? I mean, I can throw 10 in there, but let's be realistic. Whatever we get here, this is what we're going to do, guys. Whatever X's we get in the last, let's say, 6 months, we're going to cut it in half. And that's going to be our X factor. What is the X factor? The X factor is how much can UFO move up against the layer 1 pulse in a given time, and then you multiply it against what the layer 1 can do. That's the X factor. So if, say for example, if we come up with the number 10, we're going to put that in the X factor section on look into. And then we're going to say, well, what can Pulse do? Well, we know the X factor might be 10. That's a little more than hypothetical because we have a history, but we don't have a history of what Pulse can do. That's the more speculative number. So we put in the X factor, and maybe it'll be 10, and then we'll speculate on what Pulse can do. So let's find the X factor. Let's go to the weekly. No, we're going to do the 3-day. All right. Let's see. And I said the last 6 months, that would be, it's March. Middle of March, that would be middle of September. And we'll get a percent middle of September. How many X's has UFO done? And I'm going to go to the bottom right here where we are today. Should I do that? Should I do that? Let's split the difference because that's 6X. I'm not happy with that. Can I do that? But I'm not going to go here. Let's go right here in the middle because we are on a significant pullback, guys. Let's be honest. So that's 933%. That's 9X. So I'm going to make the X factor half of that, 4.5. Going back to look into X factor, see if I can do a fraction. 4.5. What do you guys think Pulse can do? Any ideas? Well, I want to be a moon boy here. I want to be a moon boy, and I think a 100X minimum from SAC price, though. Let's just do set from SAC price. So what is that going to be? What's the price of Pulse? How do you do that? Oh, from SAC price, it's going to be, what's the price? That would be 0.00301 times 100 equals 0.01 divided by today's price, 0.00403514. That'd be 285X. Let's cut that in half because I know this number is going to be, it's going to put you in your seat. Just I know that from using this calculator. So let's cut that in half. That's divided by 2 is 104. It was just do it 140. 140. X factor of 4.5. This thing likes to flip things on you. And then 142X. And just so you know, this is going to be 142 times 4.5. 142 times 4.5. It's going to be a 639X. So you take your value, the value of your pTGC today, multiply it times 639. There you go. There's your moon math. Calculate. That would give us a no X. Yeah. 2.2 cent UFO. Happy days? Happy days. Yeah. Everybody in here would be overjoyed. So that $1,000 that you put into UFO today would be $639,000. Whoa, baby. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Let's do it at pTGC. 4.5, 142. Because a lot, we have these reference points in our minds. Oh, we need to get the X factor. And if you're new, guys, this is something that the X factor is something that our group coined. I think we started it. So let's do the same thing in the last 6 months. pTGC in terms of Pulse. So we're going to go from the middle of September. Where are we? August, September, middle of September. We're on the weekly. That'll work. Okay, we're going to go from here to here. That's 4. I'm going to call that a 4X. Oh, no, we needed to go to the middle, right? That's a 6X. We're going to cut that in half, make that 3. Whew. And then we're going to do the same thing. 3, and then 142. That's going to be, you know what it's going to be. I could have just done it with a calculator. No, X. You got to make sure you get the X in there. 19 cent pTGC. It seems like we got a different, oh, it's because it couldn't, yeah, UFO has gone up. I need to share my screen. UFO has gone up more against Pulse in the last 6 months than pTGC has. Then we had a big retrace, So there it is, guys. 3X, there's your 3X, 142X on Pulse. And that gives us Kong. That gives us 19 cent to pTGC. Yeah. Okay. So with that, let me break that down. That is pTGC moving against the layer 1 at a 3x. And in the last year, it's actually done 50 or 40, maybe because we pulled back. It might be 40 now. We've done more like a 40x against the layer 1. This is setting it to a 3 and speculating that the Pulse is going to do 100x from SAC price. Make sense, guys? You guys are being awful quiet, and that's okay. But please drop your questions if you got them. I'm here for that. Let me know you guys are here. Is this exciting? Drop one in the chat if that moon math gets you excited. Locking calculator. All right, guys. There was a little bit of a hiccup in the locking calculator. I'm going to be real plain with you guys. There was a formula mishap, okay? And I was explaining. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Good, K-Flow. Awesome. I was consoling somebody. I was like, listen, I make mistakes. We are all volunteers here. Yes, we're pumping our own bags, but we're all volunteering to do this stream, to build look into, and it's more of a business, of course, because he's making money at it. I've made a little bit, not much, guys. Dude, I don't do it for a living. Let me tell you what. But had to console this person, like, you made a mistake. He wasn't crying on my shoulders, okay, but I did just try to console him proactively, like, dude, it's okay. But that's why you always got to do, fact check everything, do your own research, right? Okay, so bottom line is the numbers on look into for the lock calculator were incorrect. They were not factoring out the 30% for early end locks. It was doing the whole 100%, I think, if I remember correctly. Good. K-Flow, you got a question. I'll be to you in just a minute. I want to get through this real quick since we're on topic. So this is the amount. So basically, I published some stuff on Twitter and in Telegram that was incorrect. It was 70% off. The wrong kind of 70% off. All right. I like my shoes 70% off, but not a 70% off on my locking estimator. It was very disappointing. But I'm here to tell you that the 30% is still great. Okay, so total lock pTGC is right here. And this is another, this is the lock calculator, guys. So if you have locked pTGC, you can go here and forecast what you could perhaps earn, okay, going into the cycle. I think it's cool. Right. This is the simulated unlock amount. That was the average for last year. Okay, you guys want to see something? Where are we at for this for right now? Well, I'm going to show you. You guys don't need to see that. That's all my work that I'm doing for the community to get us onto other people's streams. I'm going to show you where we are at for unlocking right now. Okay, look at this column right here. That is locking yield for my 1 million pTGC locked for 10 years. And this is the locking yield added every day. And I update this every day. I haven't done it yet today. How much, and then it actually, the calculators are really cool, guys. It tells me, thank you, Maddie. It tells me how much pTGC was early and locked in on any given day. And then what it does is it gives me, I don't know why, I need to fix the, I'll fix this formula. I want this formula to update and always read from AN9, this row, and going back 30 days. Because what that does is it gives me a 30-day total. Well, right now, we're at 453 million pTGC. And that's for the previous 30 days. 453, which is it's about 60 million above the average. Well, why is it 453? Because people have been forsaking their graze bags and getting into other projects. Don't worry, they'll be back, in my opinion. So was that 453? Yes. Okay, so what we're doing here, guys, is we are simulating an early unlock. Actually, probably multiple. I'm sure there are multiples every month. There have been a lot this month in March already so far with all the dipping and the new projects and stuff. Now, how much PTGC do you have locked? Let's say you have 10 million for 10 years. It's got to be, this will simulate a 10-year lock. Or if you have a locking ladder or different locks, what you can do, go into ChatGPT and tell it, I have X numbers of PTGC in 10-year locks and the rewards is 100%. I have X PTGC in 5-year locks and the rewards are X for that. What is my total percent average, right? And you could put that, that's how I figured my average. I'm really high average. Like I'm at 96.3% of all the locking rewards come to me. Not all the locking rewards, but like for my bags. So let me touch on that. How this works is that when you lock PTGC, if you have 1% of the PTGC supply locked, like you're a big boy, a whale, then 1% of all the locking rewards would come to you. So your locking rewards are proportional to your share of the supply. Your share of the supply that is locked. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. You guys are all smarter than me. So back to the stage. Let's say you have 10 million locked and it's in a 10-year lock. I'm just going to make it 100%. And the price is, let's just say it goes to a penny. We get that 22x or whatever it is, and it's now a penny. Then your rewards would be $97.50. All right, I'm going to explain something to you guys. And we do need to we're working our way to the DApp. There's a big difference between reflections rewards and staking rewards and locking rewards. Reflections and staking rewards are based on the price of PTGC today. They're sent to your wallet when that contract executes. Okay? When that contract executes, it's buying PTGC at whatever value it is today. The locking rewards are not that way. Let me see if I can articulate this a way that sounds very appetizing. Let's say a guy at the very beginning of PTGC, he's one of those fortunate whales. They got a large bag. Like you can get like a whale position for probably $500 or $1,000 or whatever they got it for. Crazy. Let's say he got a whale position for $1,000 and he locked half of it up for 10 years. And that would be 1.5 billion tokens. Whoa. 1.5 billion tokens locked up for 10 years. And he did it in all one bag. And I advocate breaking it up into smaller bags because that's a little safer in case you do want to early end lock and you're not in early end locking a huge bag, but a smaller one paying less than a 30% on their whole bag. Make sense? I hope so. If it doesn't, let me know. So he locks up 1.5 billion tokens that at the time he paid $500 for. I think I'm saying this correctly. The tokens have now done a 1000x. So he pays $500, $500 for that bag, and it's done 1000x. It's worth 500,000. He goes in an EES's or EEL, emergency end lock, and he nukes 30% times 0.3. He's nuking 150,000. 150? I think 150 million. It would be 150 million. I missed a few zeros. So he's sending those rewards, those 30% penalties go to the other lockers based on your position in the pool. So he's sending 150 million tokens to the other lockers. It's not a certain dollar amount that he's sending to the other lockers. It's a certain number of tokens. Okay. So when the contract executes, it's buying tokens at today's price. When somebody early end locks, it doesn't care. The contract doesn't care about the price. It's looking at tokens. It's like, okay, this dude's penalty is X number of tokens. All these tokens, no matter their value, is getting distributed to all the other lockers. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. So you can literally get in on that 1000x that dude did. Yeah. Or people that are locking up today. And if we do 1000x, then like all of us today buying pTGC and locking tokens, and then the token does 1000x, and all of our associates, all the people in the chat, and some of us are early in locking. Well, now they're paying me those tokens at 1000x. Beautiful, dude. Yeah, beautiful. I love that. So let's go and see. Let's do a little more moon mathy stuff. So for the past 30 days, there has been 453 million pTGC unlocked. You had 10 million locked for 10 years. That's 100%. But that's a penny. What if we do a 10x? What if we go to 10 cents? Well, your estimated value is now $975. You might not want to live in some of these places there, but there are places in the world where you can live for $975 a month. Like Bali. Saw a dude, he's living there for $600 a month. Got a cheap place to rent. He goes to the beach, he lives on the beach. He loves it. $600 a month. What if it goes to 50 cents? Notice I'm not going to $1. Ooh, $5,000. There's a lot of places in the States you can live for $5,000. So this is the global locked. Here's the simulated unlock. Now, what if we go back to the average? Let's go back to the average of 395. That's for the last year. You have 10 million tokens. And do you see how if you have more, the more tokens you have, the more this bottom line here is going to be worth, right? So let's say you have 10 million at 50 cents, 100% of the rewards, $4,200. Let's say you have 100 million, add a zero, $42,000. Happy days, boys and girls. Happy days. All right, you guys got that? I hope I explained it thoroughly. I sure seemed to spend enough time on it. I love the locking calculator. I'm not going to lie. I love it. Probably because I'm heavily invested in it. We're going to talk about the things the most that we're invested in. Why do you think I stream about pTGC? It's the best thing since sliced bread, guys. Come over to the PulseChain. Start with these, and then move on to anything else you want. But you might not. You might find you just want to stay here too. Somebody said recently, I think it was B Roots. He says, pTGC and UFO are like a sponge. They are going to absorb all the tickers on the Pulse network. It happened a lot. In my case, I can tell you that. Let's go to the staking calculator. One moment. No, we're not going to the staking calculator. Sorry. We got to do the reflections. pTGC. This is the reflections tab, guys. And we're going to go into experimental mode. It has been a while since we did the moon math calculator, hasn't it? And we're going to use the demo wallet, calculate yields. What this does, guys. Oh, let me get back. Give me a second. I wanted to finish the locking calculator and then get back to Coon Dogs. No, it was K-Flow. Your question. How does liquidity bonding affect price movements? For example, does the ratio of one coin has to another determine the order of magnitude that coin moves in relation to the other coin pumping? Well, I'm going to answer your question, K-Flow, just based on the first part of your question. How does liquidity bonding affect price movements? It's called Hart's Law. That's the simplest part for the Prairie Banana. It's called Hart's Law. All tokens paired in liquidity are going to move together. So pTGC and UFO have a strong bond. When pTGC goes up, it's going to drag UFO up. And then the thicker the liquidity, the thicker the bonding between them, the larger the more that they're going to affect each other's movement. Which is why I got to show this, guys. Which is why we're so excited about this network of pTGC being networked with all of these assets. Because who doesn't believe that Pulse is going to do well? Who doesn't believe that Pulse X, Hex, PDI, Teddy Bear, Atropa, Inc., all of these tokens, who doesn't think that these tokens are going to do well? When they do well, they will affect pTGC and UFO. Like here's the pTGC. Here's the pTGC right here. Total volume checker, okay? So this is all the pairs of pTGC. When pTGC does well, it's going to affect UFO. Okay, and if you scroll down, you can see how much money is in LP. pTGC has $8 million in LP. How much does UFO have? And I'm showing this to you. Okay, remember, it was 8 million? 8 million. I'm showing this to you for a reason because we just highlighted UFO just a little bit ago. UFO has $12 million. So that's like a third more bonding with blue chip tickers on the Pulse network. So this one, UFO, in my estimation, is going to move faster because of the liquidity. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to pull pTGC along with it. Give it a second. It's gonna, here's the biggest bonding right here. It's going to pull pTGC right along with it. I hope that answers your question. I am going to look at the rest of your question because I want to answer. For example, does the ratio of one coin has to determine the order of magnitude the coin moves in relation to the other? Okay, Flo, I can't answer your question. I can't answer your question relative to ratios. I just don't, I can't articulate that. Gary Bennett, Southeast Asia via Eastern European destinations for me. pTGC is a pure godsend. Yeah, man. Yeah. We have a destination in mind as well. So yeah, man, I'd love it. And I do want to go Southeast Asia. Via Europe, Eastern Europe. Yeah, my mother's in Eastern Europe, and we got to go visit her. Okay, Flo, right here. Here's my example. Would the 14-to-1 pTGC to Pulse ratio maintain if Pulse all of a sudden pumped? No. Nope. Look, okay. Let's look at the chart. And, you know, I say that emphatically, but that's my emotions coming out. Just so you guys know. Now, give me a second, guys. Are we at 14-to-1? We're at 12.5-to-1. Not to be contrary, K-Flow. I'm with you, dude. It's just getting on point here. So we are at 12.5-to-1. We were at 22.7-to-1. So we pulled back a bit. That's okay. Would this ratio right here maintain if Pulse all of a sudden pumped? Probably not. Here's why, Kay. We have a strong history. Look at this history, dude, of moving up against the layer one. Let me reset this here. Here is, look at this chart, guys. This is the chart in terms of WPLS, how strong pTGC is against the layer one. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Look at that history, like 17 months. I mean, do you think we're going to stay down here? I don't. Absolutely not. You like that website, do you? Cool. You are welcome, K-Flow. Absolutely. Let's get back to business here. We got to get to the DApp, guys. It's already been on for an hour and a quarter. What this does is it calculates yield based on certain volume. So I pulled an automatic address. We're going to put in $5 million in volume, and you can select it right here, whatever volume you want. And then it's going to tell you the yearly returns, 302 million pTGC. Well, you imagine this guy's a big guy? Yeah, he's a shark. He holds 1.14 billion pTGC. He's not a whale. He's a shark. His bag is worth 500 grand. Let's see, what else can I tell you? His yearly yield is $132,000. And that is reflections only. This is the reflection calculator right here. So that's reflections only. And then if you were looking to get a whale position, you could earn $345,000 a year. A shark, but the whale position is going to be $1.3 million. But that, again, that's reflections only. And the shark position, $130,000 nowadays. And the annual is going to be $35,000 for that. And it just goes on. Can you guys see the ratios here? The positions are shark, and then dolphin is just a tenth of the shark. And the reflections are going to be a tenth of the reflections of the shark. Okay. All right. So let's move on to UFO. UFO is a little bit different. It doesn't have you can LP UFO. You can't stake it. You can stake and lock pTGC, but you can't LP it. Well, you can, but with UFO, I have only LP from the DApp. Don't LP from PulseX. You might be disappointed when you miss out on rewards. So we're going to calculate UFOs based yields based on $5 million in volume per day. The annual return to be 152% or 822 million UFO. That's pretty sweet. And that's for, is this guy a dolphin? I thought I picked yeah, I tried the demo wallet. Well, the demo wallet used to be a shark, but now he's a dolphin. He must have sold. You know what? Guys, I'm going to reach out to Kong about this, but I think that he had these wallets just picked. I think he probably just picked them off of a deck screener. And I think this dude sold, because I'm sure I'm going to ask Kong if he changed the wallet. He probably didn't, but I think the dude sold. So now he's no longer a shark. He's a dolphin. That's funny. That's funny. I'm going to ask Kong if I remember. Okay, so here's this dolphin position. He's still earning 152% ROI on his holdings. It's just not going to be as worth as much in dollars. $29,000 in a year. It's funny. So if you wanted a whale position, that'd be $324,000. It would throw off $468,000 in reflections. Shark position is just 1/10 of that. Okay, let's get to the DApp. Lock, staking, reflections, sheets, and UFO LP. We're not going to do that. We're going to go over to the DApp. I am highlighting the DApp. Why am I highlighting the DApp? Because I'm going to start using it because I think it's more usable than the one on the main site. And I don't mean that to be unkind. I'm a capitalist. I want the best for the cheapest. Okay. Hold on a second. So I think we'll end here. I think we'll end with the DApp. We have talked a lot. And again, guys, if you're brand new, I'll do a more formal presentation on Sunday. And I didn't even get into security today. I have a new security site that I want to show you guys. If we have time, perhaps we'll do it. I have not even logged into my Rabby yet today. You guys happy about spring? Boy, I sure am. I mean, if you're in the northern hemisphere, whatever, I'm excited about spring. But the southern guys, they're going into winter. Okay, so I've got my Rabby pulled up. I got to connect my wallet. And we're going to get familiar with this. So there's a stake tab here and a lock tab. We're going to look at the stake tab. So this guy has 14.4 million pTGC staked. Ooh, here's staked. Now this is a little bit confusing to me. This is the amount you can withdraw directly. Locked tokens must be unlocked first in the locking tab. Okay. So this is the amount you can withdraw. 40,000. Locked amount. 14,144,000. The liquid balance is 228,000. Cool. I got to wonder why this. Okay, this is staked. I'm trying to figure out the difference between his turkey season time. Yeah, man. I'll figure this out, guys. I looked at this yesterday in preparation for this, but I'm still wrapping my head around it. So I'll figure this out. And I got some direction on this. I think this is just what you can stake if you want to, or you can select 50%. that's 7 million. Yeah, I understand some of this. But then you can stake it. But you can also claim your rewards, right? So you just click on claim, and then you go through the process in your wallet. And my wallet popped up. You guys can't see it. And you guys are welcome for the work that I do. Thank you. And thank you for the super, whatever I call those things, those super chats. Appreciate it. I'll probably use it to buy stickers or something else for you guys. Okay, so this is the stake part of the DApp. Here's the locked part. Human nature, I was telling this on a mastermind I'm on last night. I was like, why don't more people come over to PulseChain? Well, part of it is our nature is we automatically default to what's easy. What is easy for me right now would be to go to pulsetgc.com and just use that, but I am going to learn how to use this. I'm just going to figure it out. So here's the lock tab. One thing I really like about the lock tab is I can claim from all of my locks at the same with one click of a button instead of going one by one. There is none available to lock on this wallet. And here's the durations. Ooh, you can select. That's pretty sweet. On the other dApp, you got to put in the number of days, which is fine. You just use a calculator like dateandtime.com. And then you can select how much you want to lock. And then you lock it. But here are the locks, right? You don't want to unlock. Oh, you know what else is good about this? Is as long as you don't go down here and touch anything, you're good. All you want to do is claim rewards. That's all I want to do. I don't want to unlock until my locks are mature. And this arrangement prevents me from accidentally unlocking that one, which I did back in the early days. I literally accidentally, totally wasn't paying attention, and I unlocked and paid 24 million pTGC. It still hurts today. What did I do? I went and immediately bought it all back. Immediately, because I didn't want to fall behind. So you can claim your rewards by clicking there. All right, guys. And like when you're looking at your Rabby wallet, when you're transacting, make sure that you look at the amount that is going into your wallet. Like, let's say you're claiming some lock-in rewards, you know they're worth probably $5. In your Rabby, it simulates it for you, and it'll show you the number of tokens and give you the value. And if there's more than $5 going into your wallet, you probably need to check your transaction to make sure you're not emergency unlocking or doing something else that's crazy. Okay, we're gonna skip the security section today. I do got to throw something in on security because I have a burden I met a guy at the conference that is a grown man like me, probably a little bit older and successful, all that stuff, yada, yada. And he's doing crypto on his phone. Dude, get a hardware wallet? So I impressed that on him, and I think he's going to get a hardware wallet. I actually have his business card. I'm going to call him because he was going to buy pTGC. I'm going to follow up and see how it's going. But do crypto on a hardware wallet. That's my advice. I am giving advice on that one. Why do you want to do it on a hardware wallet? Because a hardware wallet is an extension of your computer. It's not on your computer. It's not on your phone. And you're actually signing transactions on a hardware wallet, which is, it looks similar to this. I don't have one with me, but you connect it to your computer and your seed phrases are on your hardware wallet and you sign your transactions on the wallet itself. Okay. And then check your transactions. Make sure you're interacting with the contract that you're intending to. What I did is I put on a sticky note the contract addresses for the ones that I use: pTGC, UFO, PulseX when I'm swapping, right? I'm looking at the first three, middle three, and the last three. And I'm looking at those numbers they're the contract addresses, looking at them on the hardware device. So I'm saying, yes, I'm sending Pulse to this address. And yes, I am agreeing to interact with this address, pTGC or UFO, whatever. Okay. You want to check the first, middle, and last three because you want to make sure that crypto it's permanent. If you make a mistake, you cannot undo it. There's no help desk that you can reach out to. So take it very serious. Use a hardware wallet. We recommend Rabby Wallet as your hot wallet on your desk or your phone, just because it seems to work really well with PulseChain. Protect your seed phrase like it's your life. I put mine on. Let's see if I can show you this. It's on. I put it on a stainless steel. It's about this size, about the size of a yellow sticky note, rectangular, not square. I engraved it, stainless steel. Okay, engraved it. But I also got some really cheap. They're like $20. These bags, fireproof bags that are good to like 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or I think it's 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. They're layered, and I put my stainless steel plates inside of those to protect them. So my seed phrase, which is my crypto, which I need to hodl like dear life, is protected from flood and fire. And I'm also trying to be very, very careful when I'm transacting. Anytime you interact with the contract, there is the opportunity for somebody to step in and wreck your crypto. I also use multiple wallets, multiple hardware wallets, so that if I happen to make a mistake on one, I've got a few others. You know what I mean? Don't do crypto when you're tired, when you're hungover, when you're drunk, when you're talking to somebody, when you're chatting on Facebook. You know, be present when you're transacting, and take it serious. So when you're in crypto, you are the bank with all the responsibilities that come with that. So if there aren't any other questions, it has been really cool hanging with you guys. If I didn't meet you at the conference and you were there, that makes me sad. I want to meet you guys. If you were there and we met, that was so cool. You guys are familiar with me, but I was not familiar with you. And there's so many people coming up that I did not recognize. I think I recognize Snowflake from other pictures. I would have picked you out, but it was helpful that you said who you were. So yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Did I forget, or did I just forget your name? I thought it was SHAUN. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Let me know if you want me to erase that from the video. Anyhow, I'm going to jet. We'll do this again on Sunday at 3. It'll be 2 p.m. Pacific. And we'll have, let's see, Zen is going to be on a Spaces call. No, a voice chat tomorrow at, I think it's 8 a.m. I need to fix these to make sure they're all correct. And then Spaces, the community Spaces call is going to be Saturday at 7 a.m. Pacific. All right, guys? Okay, cool. You're welcome, Gary. Thank you for the compliment. Guys, how many are in here? 37 aliens in the chat. Guys, we're crushing it. Keep focused. Keep moving forward. Be mindful of marketing. If you're on Twitter, like those, give little heart things, make a comment, support those that are higher up the food chain, and we'll all crush this cycle. It'll be good. I'm confident it's going to be good. All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.